Yeah, it says he's not.
Well, he's right there.
Yeah, but he's just watching. He's speaking at 2. OggCamp 2.
What?
OggCamp 2. Honey?
Where's that?
It's over that way. It's in one of the smaller rooms over there.
Will I have a sign?
Yeah, OggCamp 2 and OggCamp 3. Okay. So you need to head off.
How long is it?
Basically follow Andy when he goes. 25 minutes.
You're joking.
25 minutes?
It's really short.
Yeah, let's go.
Really short.
So it's not till 2 o'clock. Anthony's going to make a report later on it.
Yeah, do I have to go for the detail? What? Dad.
Just have to do best.
I'm ready.
Go. Stop. Right, everybody quiet.
Welcome back from OggCamp lunch, or wherever you went for lunch. My name is Andy. My purpose in this session, Lightning Talks, is to get out of the way as quickly as possible, because we have 5 speakers for you in the next 30 minutes. Each going to give a 5-minute lightning talk, or less, depending on their preference. I will be stopping them for 5 minutes. And the very first one of those is Mr. Alan Pope, with a talk entitled "All GUIs Suck, Use the Terminal."
Yes. Hello everyone, my name is Alan Pope. You may know me from such publications as the Ubuntu podcast, User Error, and that video where I did some extreme ironing on a trampoline once. I'm not here to talk about that. My title is a little bit clickbaity. All GUIs suck, use the terminal, be productive, and I will explain why. Why do GUIs suck? Well, they suck because they often have significant hardware requirements. So you often need a relatively high-spec machine to operate a graphical user environment. They usually use quite a lot of memory on your computer, and gobs and gobs of hard disk for all the libraries and other bits of rubbish that you need in order to display a window on a screen. And they often hide advanced functions. So it might be that you can operate certain parts of the application by clicking buttons and radio buttons and checkboxes and filling in fields. But often there's more, deeper functions that an application can do, but they're hidden from you because the application designer or developer only put a certain amount of effort into the GUI because maybe they didn't have time, or maybe they don't want to maintain all these additional settings. I suggest you look at the difference between GNOME and KDE as an example of this. Another reason why GUIs suck, they enable notifications and other distractions that really get in the way and stop you getting on with your work. So for example, being told that there are software updates available for your computer, or getting calendar reminders that it's someone's birthday. I don't care, I'm writing a blog, right? Or social media, you know, so-and-so followed you, so-and-so favorited your tweet, or whatever it is. Like, that's distracting from the thing you're trying to get done right now, right? And these little icons that have unread account badges on, like Telegram channels, that kind of make you think, oh, I need to go over there and read that because there's lots of interesting content there. There isn't. Carry on doing what they're doing. Ignore all of those notifications. Terminals are super useful to remove all of those distractions. You can work in a terminal without distractions on a low power system. I'll talk more about this laptop I'm using in a moment, and a very low cost. The entry level requirements for running a terminal are exceptionally low. You can buy a very old computer, maybe 10 plus years old, still have up-to-date supported software on there, and have a productive working environment every day. Also, they had dark mode before that became cool, right? So here are some example applications that I use on a daily basis in order to do normal productive activities. Email, IRC, you can even use Slack if you're a hipster in a terminal. You can play music, you can browse the web, you can give presentations. This very presentation here is using a tool called Present-TQY, and it's perfectly agreeable, I think you'll find. You can also get system information and all kinds of other stuff about your system. But these are some of the example applications. There are many, many more, and they all still exist and they all still work despite the prevalence of graphical user environments. So this particular laptop that I'm using a terminal on is a ThinkPad X61S. It's a fabulous laptop. It has an Intel dual-core CPU. I can have two threads going at the same time. I've actually upgraded the RAM. This thing's got 6 gig of RAM, and I would imagine when this thing shipped, it only dreamed of that amount of memory. It's massively overkill for what I do. I've also put an SSD in it, so it's super performant and very quiet. It has wired and wireless. I'm using a wireless network right now. Also has GSM and a little pop-up aerial, which is very cool. And it's got USB ports, it's got a Courage port if you want to listen to music, and it's got a user replaceable battery, which you will have to replace if you ever buy one of these things. So, this is what I see when I first boot my computer up, and I've written a little script called apps. And all it does is launch all those applications. So I just go apps, bop. And now it's launching all of those applications in separate windows using a thing called Biobu, which uses Tmux under the covers. And so now I have all these windows with all my applications open, which can be my IRC channels, my email, my company email, my personal email, RSS reader, some information about CPU utilization. I can go on to Mastodon if I really wanted to. I can listen to some music. Just to prove that I can listen to music, I can listen to local music on my computer. Revolutionary. I can also listen to Spotify and do all kinds of other things. I strongly recommend you buy one of these old ThinkPads and use it rather than use a graphical user environment. And I know your next question is, can it run Skyrim? No. Another ThinkPad for that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Excellent. And while Andy's setting up, I'll just point out that I just checked the current price of the X61 on X61S, I beg your pardon, on eBay, and there's currently one starting bid of £6.43. So if anyone wants to follow Paper's example, you can get started at low cost. You might have to do some upgrades, maybe a little bit of maintenance. Yeah, very good. I was inspired. I think a few of you took a picture of the terminal apps he was using, so we all learn something new at OggCamp every day, which is every year, I should say, not every day. We could OggCamp every day. Why don't we OggCamp every day, Dan? No, okay. Anyway, Andy's just getting his screen display up. I think so. There we go, exactly. Wouldn't have this problem in a terminal, Andy. No. So my day job here is a member of the crew. I just kind of run around. I'm Les's fixer. I solve problems. I'm not able to solve this problem. We're not going to be able to do that. All right, so Andy's going to freestyle without slides to talk about introduction to Node-RED and MQTT for 5 minutes. Thank you, Andy.
It's really difficult to demo without a demo. So this morning, Josh was tweeting, Josh the Awesome, this is his panels, tweeting that we'd like to find out more about MQTT. And I said, well, if you've got literally 5 minutes today sometime, I'll have to sit down and show you. And Dan woke up at a very early hour and tweeted back, that sounds like a lightning talk. So here's a lightning talk. If you would have had a live demo of MQTT working, more enough for the back of slide. But anyway, so MQTT, for anybody who came to my talk yesterday, we were wondering what the backstory was. It's a messaging protocol for the Internet of Things, and it's used for devices to talk to other devices and applications via this thing called the broker. So it's a client-server architecture. So devices are called clients. The thing they connect to is called a broker, and it's a one-to-many distribution pattern. So it's called publish and subscribe. So people who produce messages are publishers, and the people who consume messages are subscribers. And because it's a one-to-many model, the device publishes to the broker, and anybody who's interested in those messages subscribes to the broker and gets a copy of it. The way you express your interest is via a topic. Topic is like the subject line of an email. It tells you what the message is about. So if you're interested in a message about, let's say, temperatures, then you can subscribe to temperatures, and anyone who publishes temperatures, you'll get a copy of. And the device, the client, doesn't need to know if there's 0, 1, or a million interested subscribers in what they publish. As long as they publish their message to a broker, that's fantastic. And that decoupling is really important, because if you've just got a nailed your little sensor to a post somewhere, you don't want to go back and change the software on it every time a new subscriber comes along to be interested in your data. So that decoupling is really important. What I was going to say about PPT, so it has two quite important things. One is quality of service. This is how hard clients and brokers try to deliver your message. There's three quality of service, 0, 1 and 2, in the name. 0 is the lowest level of service, and it's called fire and forget. That means you just send it off, and if it gets there, great. If not, or depends on all that comes on, so don't worry about it. The QoS1 is what we call at least points of delivery. So the message gets sent to its destination, so it's from the client to the broker, or the broker to the subscriber, and the other end has to send back an acknowledgement that he got the message. If that message gets lost, if that acknowledgement gets lost on the way back, the client will go, oh, I didn't get it, I'll send it again. Which means it might arrive twice, or 3 times, or more times. But you only use QoS1 where that doesn't matter. It's got to get through, even if the subscriber is down, or the broker is down temporarily, everyone's going to keep trying to get the message through. QoS2 is what we call once and once only delivery. This is making it compatible with other enterprise messaging systems that you may or not be aware of, where getting the message through exactly once is really important. Like if I give somebody £100, then that only wants to happen once, not twice or 0 times. One of the others would be upset by that. So QoS2, it uses extra handshake signals, extra communication. I don't know all the details about that diagram, the message, but it's 4 exchanges of data, which eventually means that the message gets delivered exactly once. And all sorts of things can happen, the network and the brokers and the servers and the clients, and the message will still get through exactly once. That's really handy. The other really handy thing in MQTT is what we call retained publications. And this was originally built into the system to allow you to find out when you subscribe to a topic what the current state of the union is. So if you're subscribing to atmospheric pressure, let's say, which changes really slowly to your weather station display, you don't want to have to wait for the first update before you find out what the atmospheric pressure is. So you publish it with a retained flag on, and the broker hangs on to that message like a 1 message deep buffer. So when any of you subscribe to it, they immediately get back the last known good message with a flag saying this is retained. So it's out of date, but it's as good as it's got at the moment. And then from then on, the live updates come through. It's a really good way of populating display really quickly. The final thing to think about is keep alive. This is a contract between the device and the broker saying, just in case I ever get disconnected unexpectedly, please send out this message on my behalf. So we call it last will and testament. So the idea is you lodge the last will and testament message with your broker and the message you would have sent saying, I've got disconnected now. It's really handy for online offline status. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Andy. And on behalf of the AV crew, well, not on behalf of the AV crew, I'm just sorry that we couldn't get your demo working. I'm sure you would be happy to show people on your laptop if people want to come and see you later and show off Node-RED, because it's pretty cool. Who's heard of Node-RED in the room? There's only about half of the room, so yeah, it's pretty neat. So really do hang out with Andy later on. So Nick is going to come up and talk about installing G apps, I assume Google Apps. Excellent, I'm good. I'm right on Mate 30? No, I'll leave you to explain what you're talking about. How's that? Hello, can you hear me? I'm Nick.
I'll speak about installing Google Apps in the Huawei Mate 30 new mobile phone, and especially how backdoors on the future would look like from an architecture that is currently in place. This is not my work. This is a work from Matt's developer handle of Top the context of what I'll be speaking about you can find on Medium by googling Medium and Top.Book. You will find that post. And so at first, some context, let's speak about Android architecture. The two key components are the system partition and the data partition. And the applications that come bundled from the original manufacturer go in the system partition, and they have advanced capabilities, where the normal applications that the user installs go in the data partition, where they are more restricted to provide a more secure operating system. The problem is that the Google Apps require system partition accesses in order to function as they are envisioned. So they have to be bundled by the original manufacturer. Because they are proprietary, they need a contract to be in place between the manufacturer and Google. However, there is a problem, there is some politics involved, and currently Huawei and Google come to business, so Huawei couldn't bundle the Google Apps pre-installed on the phone. But they knew in order to sell in Europe and the US, the users would require that functionality. So what could they do? After the phone shipped, users who wanted to install Google Apps Googled the problem, and they found that the solution was to go to a new website called lzplay.net, and there they would download an APK that would install the Google Apps on their phone. This naturally piqued the interest of people in the custom-ROM community, because normally there are two ways to install Google Apps on their phone. Either the manufacturer has some pre-installed placeholders on their image, and again they need permission for Google to do that, or the bootloader is unlocked, as we say, and the user can flash the Google Apps on their own. But Huawei does not allow a user to unlock the bootloader. It is locked, and every time the phone loads, it cryptographically verifies the locked state. And since they couldn't do business with Google, they couldn't install the placeholder apps as well. So the developer in question got a hold of the LZPlay APK and looked at it, and found that it required some special permissions from Huawei in order to function. He then found out that there is a Huawei proprietary software development kit that you can get from Huawei after signing a contract with them that allows you to use that special functionality. But you don't only read that SDK, you have to submit your APK to Huawei, so they sign it before it can work. And so this means that this APK was known to Huawei, they had approved it. But he also found the documentation from that SDK, and he looked at the special permissions that the app required, but he found that two of the permissions were missing from that SDK, which was very weird. Normally, the functionality enabled by an application is documented so the developers can use it properly to build their apps. And the names of those two undocumented APIs are quite suggestive. One was about installing system apps, and the other one was about making those apps undetachable is a word. It's something like hidden. Some of the default applications in our operating systems, at least in Android, do not show up as images when a user searches for them. We don't care about things how battery works, the battery application, it's just there. So that was very weird. Those two permissions break the Android security model. The advanced applications are required to be in the system partition, so they are not protected by malicious activity. It is one of the mitigation strategies employed by Android. But those permissions break that, and through that model, the LZPlay app could install the Google applications and giving them those advanced permissions that they basically can do a lot more advanced functionality. And the same way one uses that to install Google applications, could use that to install any other app. If you lose access to your phone, let's say on security border, the guard says you give me your phone, they take your phone and they can install anything they want. And there is a document where how it was done for the May 30 phone. If you want to know more, feel free to Google Talks and Boston Media.
Thank you, Nick. All right, this is looking exciting because we've got 10 minutes left and 2 speakers each with a 5-minute talk, so this is going to be very, very quick. Julian. Hello. Julian's going to talk about the wheelie pad that's been roaming OggCamp this weekend.
Hello. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, has anyone seen this? I've got this part in the far corner of the Pioneer Room for anyone to have a play with. I got it because I just had a friend. And let's just turn up the volume a little bit. Okay. What's your name?
Callum.
So it does work. Yeah. I never met him before, so he's been driving around. I had to leave my computer with him to control it. Most people try to control it on the phone, and it's no good on the phone. Luckily, so you don't see any slides. And you do something that's very bad, because you never pick up robots. It's a bit mean. You just pick them up and move them up to here, send them off there. Okay, yeah, go have a look, wander around. Because what happens is you almost anthropomorphize with it a bit. So can we go up? We can get. So yeah, so you're a bit low now. Can you go tall? So we can have it all the way up, because. So a lot of people, when children are playing with it, it's quite funny because they think the eyes are what they're seeing, whereas in fact it's this camera that is lighting up. But yeah, if you turn around and see the camera. Okay. There are very few of these around, it seems. I mean, I bought it because I got tired of all these university academics who really should know better, flying around the world for a half-day conference and having absolutely no facility for using a robot. And whole universities here, they don't have one or ever seen one. So eventually I was forced to buy my own. Let's sort of go back. So if we turn sideways, this one here, if we turn this way, there we go. Let's move back. Okay. So this particular model, there's several old ones that have sort of like a tripod, and they respond immediately. If you control this one and sort of go forwards, let's go forwards. Forwards. There we go. You'll notice that it sort of has to go backwards a little bit in order to fall forwards in order to chase itself. So if we can go fast as well. You can hold the shift key down. Come on, keep going. It goes faster when the pole's down. It'll happily go off the edge. As a person. But that's like a bicycle, isn't it? I think my friend has already sent it down one flight of stairs. It survived because the camera comes off on a magnet and so it doesn't smash itself to bits. And that's about it. So if anyone wants to borrow it or play with it or something, get in touch. You can see it's got its own Twitter feed, WheeliePad, which I'll be tweeting this on. And occasionally I tweet a link on that if people want to dial in. When I first did that, I got really worried that it might have a chat roulette situation where everyone would click on it and very bad things would happen. But nothing seems to. And generally what happens is people are very reluctant to try it out. You send them a link and they say, I haven't got time to go next week or something to give it a go. That's one half of it. On the other half, where you send them a link to a robot, hey, come on, let's see your face a bit more. So you moved off to the side. Your face. Hello, this way. There we go, yeah, okay. And then also the problem with doing it from a phone, or from a laptop's better because you see the face. People do it with the phone, you're just looking up their nostrils as well. All these different etiquette. And the other important thing is that it is quite different from talking on a video phone. So if you're talking on a video phone, you're completely helpless. And it's like when someone phones you up in a group and you always just talk on the phone and ignore everyone in the group. That's what we seem to do. Once you give the person on the phone some autonomy, you can treat them more as a human being and not have to give them your full attention when they phone up. And that's kind of nice. And so my favourite times are when someone's phoned up and they wandered through the office and they spoke to someone else, not me. And then I'm not quite happy with it. So yeah, that's about it. I guess give you your time.
Excellent. Thank you very much. This is very exciting. I'm loving it. I've been retweeting that WheeliePad feed to get people to connect, so I'm going to be interested to see how many folks have connected to OggCamp this weekend remotely. Thank you, Julian, and assistant. That's brilliant. So finally, we do have time, and we do have the technology, and we've got the slides from one place to the other successfully. So, yeah, apologies for that, but we are learning and improving as we go. Andy is going to talk to us about how Google prevents some silly bugs. Thank you very much. You can either use this mic. Yeah, you're going to be driving some slides. So maybe that's this one. Okay.
Hey, why not? This is what I really enjoy at work, so I'll do that. Too short, so.
Sorry, no, I know, absolutely. We've made a last minute change.
So, all I'm really going to talk about is some of our open source static analysis tooling. In Java, because that's just what I work in. If you're familiar with static analysis tool, you might think, oh, just any other static analysis tool. I know there are lots of other static analysis tools. This is just what we use internally, and it's really good. I really like it. I'm not here in any sort of official capacity. I don't work on the error-prone team. I just contribute to them internally. So we've got lots of code at Google. In 2016, we had something like 2 billion lines of code, and that was mostly in a single workforce repository. And the significance, well, when you've got 2 billion lines of code, it goes without saying that it's really easy to find bugs. What might not be, well, I think finding bugs in that much code is really good fun. I could do this all day and all night, but I do have a day job as well. But the thing that really motivates me about this is I hate fixing the same bug over and over again. I just want the bugs to go away, and I want the bugs to go away for everybody. So when I find, in my particular project, I find this bug, I think, there has got to be somebody else in this company who is having the same problem. I'm just going to fix it for all of us in one go. And so the main tool that we use for this is something called ErrorProne. You can find this on errorprone.info. You can also get all of the source code for it on GitHub as well. That's linked off the errorprone.info page. We have roughly 400 open source bug patterns. We have loads of things internally as well, which I can't talk about. And these cover all sorts of things, sort of thread safety, banned APIs, things that you're just cutting your own foot off if you're deciding to use these things, and we just want people to stop them. To an extent, it's a bit of a everything that looks like a nail. So we use this hammer, or I do certainly, but it's really flexible. And it runs as a plugin to our build system, which is, if you look in the paper here, it says it's a customized version of Bazel used for compilation. So just to take you through a really simple example of this. Throw null. Who knows what that does? Yes, well, it throws something. It throws a null pointer exception, but not for any other reason than you told it to throw something that was null. So yeah, that's probably not what you intended to do there. So you can write a very simple check like this. This is a very simple check. They get wildly complicated pretty quickly, but this is one that would fit on a slide. So what you can see here is that this is saying that you're looking at any throw tree within the AST. If you find that there's a null literal on that, you can just say, right, fix that by saying null, put a new null pointer exception instead, because that's what it does. So let's be explicit about that. And then when you actually compile that, you get a message like this. Well, there's stuff that I've missed off there that says exactly why it says that, but you get something like this saying, well, you should have written this instead. The really significant thing about this is it's super duper easy for anybody to write language tests. So if you just think, oh, this new pattern that I think we should prevent, we can add that into our internal word system and it goes out to everybody in the whole company. It meets this goal of you never have to fix that. Never have to fix that same old flow. Of course, there are still bugs in that kind of bug. We only capture a certain class of bugs, basically type system bugs. So, yeah, we capture these bugs. But I was super satisfied the other day when I was making a change to one of my aeroplane tests that I'd written, and I was caught by another of the aeroplane tests that I'd written. So I was like, yes, job done.
Right. Thank you very much, Andy. Sorry, we're going to cut you off because we are 30 seconds away from Linux Outlaws. But really appreciate all of the presenters of the lightning talks. Apologies for the difficulties with a few of the technical things. If you'd like to see me more on stage, then apparently I might be doing an unconference session later this afternoon, that I've kind of been encouraged to do. But in the meantime, I'm going to make sure that Dan and Fab get on stage and do their thing, because just a few minutes of setup. Just a few minutes of setup. Definitely going to be on time. Definitely going to finish on time. Built-in buffer. Amazing. Thank you very much.
Well, we're about to roughly get off. Schedule it.
Alright, oh no worries, alright, so we'll catch up in a
This
bit
is
then.
half an hour left.
Oh, well, I've no idea.
Right, right.
Probably an hour.
Right, I want to pay me 20 quid to get the ticket, so just have to roll cards like that.
I'm just in the corner, probably. Yeah.
One, two. This is mic 2. This is lead 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. Shall we start?
We're rolling on the recorder.
That sounded confident. Do you want to start it? Let's pretend it's a show.
Okay.
Hello everybody. Thanks for turning up. Welcome to Kind of Linux Outlaws. I'm Fab from Hamburg.
And I'm Dan from Liverpool.
It's almost like back in the day.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it? It's always to see all of you. So for the people, anyone who might listen to this recording and think, this is all on the sound of it, with that bit at home, we're in a room with about 100 odd people at OggCamp19. So make some noise. That's excellent. So yeah, what are we doing?
So basically what we are doing is, I thought it would be a good idea to have kind of a show. People were saying it's like a podcast, and I'm really anal about podcasting, so I'm like, it's not really a podcast. We don't have an RSS feed, but I think I might make just an RSS feed just for this one. Yeah. Yes. So I thought we'll talk about. It's now been 5 years since we stopped the show. 5 years.
Yeah.
You feel old? I do.
Yeah.
And I thought we'll talk about what has happened in the Linux and open source world since we stopped the show.
Yeah, so we did our last episode in December, I think, of 2015.
14, I think.
2014. So yeah, just about 5 years, and nothing's really changed.
Well, I actually have some. So the first thing I have to say, I was actually excited before doing this. I had some a little bit of stage fright. I haven't had that for ages. You know when we didn't do a show for like 2 weeks and we used to start we don't know how this goes anymore?
Yeah.
This is a whole different level of life.
5 years, yeah.
So I actually have some notes, which never happened while we were doing LO, not really. So obviously the first thing we have to talk about, I can see some people from Red Hat in the audience. So the first thing that has obviously happened is that IBM has bought Red Hat.
Yeah.
Which is something I didn't see coming.
We didn't see it coming. No. So interesting, I think you could be a little bit starting side about it, but you say you didn't see it coming. I was the week before this was announced on the Saturday and Sunday. I was in Edinburgh for the Linux Foundation Open Source Summit conference in Edinburgh, and IBM were there in force. Red Hat were there in force. Some very key people.
Okay.
Didn't seem to know anything about it or are very good actors. I don't know where to put them, about it. And then literally 12 hours later, the news drops and basically very surprised. So I don't know if it was just at the very top level, or maybe doing like that new whoever else. But yeah, it's a real surprise to a lot of people.
I had always thought Canonical would get bought. I think even when we're doing the show, remember I was always going they're obviously looking for that. They're going to be bought by somebody. I always thought Microsoft. I think.
You thought Microsoft was quite Canonical.
Yeah. I don't know. So are they next? Do you think?
Maybe. I'm not sure. See, the interesting thing with the Red Hat situation is that I'm going to go on
People were like, well, that's so terrible, just continuing and all the rest of it, and I appreciate that. I mean, we're not necessarily happy with people, but as much as we like that about business model, we're a great company, great people there, and so on. They're a corporate company, they're reliable for people. You float on the stock market to get the money. You yourself open to people buying the shares, but you may necessarily, well, in this case, hostile takeover, and it's not like this was, it's sort of really possible. So unfortunately, not to be too let them out of it, like, if you're really upset about that, you can live by the sword, you can have those sort. If you want that money from the idea and the rest of it, you've got to be prepared for that. Someone might take it over.
And obviously Canonical is not a public company, although I read actually last week they were reporting their loss. Actually, I think they had a turnover of about 100 million, and they still made a loss of 9 million. And so I read on Pharonics, they were speculating that next year Canonical would go IPO, would have an IPO. And I'm like, how can they have an IPO? They've lost money ever since the company existed. Who's going to buy the shares? That's not the point where you have an IPO, is it?
Maybe somebody wants to buy options.
Somebody.
Yeah, possibly. I mean,
Somebody who was in space.
the other conspiracy theorist angle is somebody going out book stories who want to buy a company,
On Pharonics.
so they can buy it.
On Pharonics, okay. Right, I like that.
I don't know, but I'm not sure. I mean, you're not really in a situation because, like I said, part of the end is down to Mark and everyone else for the work to decide whether that's happening or not. So, I'm not seeing sure. And as far as the red happening goes, I mean, I don't know how many inside of nature project, but I think so far, people have read that, but they turned out to be okay.
Yeah.
Things haven't changed massively yet. These big, like IBM, such big corporations, we've got to load. And maybe they haven't announced the change they want to make, I don't know. But from what I've heard, they're very much just like, you do your thing, you do that, you're just going to swap your years on a high level. And you carry on doing it.
Well, so far, the people I've talked to are pretty happy with it. But then, when SUSE was bought, that was, I don't know, who did buy them?
No.
But like afterwards, some company, and they was said we're not changing anything on, with SUSE. They're just going to do their thing. And if you talk to people from there, they did change quite a lot.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like private.
Yeah, that's all like that one.
And they said, they want to move everyone from Germany to so that was a slight thing for people who were there.
Right. Yeah. So and obviously the other thing that has happened recently basically was Microsoft buying GitHub, right? What do you think about that? There was talk yesterday on the panel about that a little bit.
Yeah, about the Microsoft thing, definitely. I mean, it doesn't make much difference to me, really, but the thing is, again, to be really thinking about it, it looks quite again, but if you're worried about, sort of freedom, so maybe a bit more on the platform, which might be,
yeah, I think, but everyone's doing that. I think that's, I mean, all open source is on GitHub, isn't it? Like, everything, literally everything. So, yeah.
I think a lot of people who want to listen to this, they're about it.
Yeah, true. Yeah, you're right on that. I don't know. I didn't feel comfortable with that when they bought GitHub.
So you use GitHub,
yeah, I moved not that I'm a coder, right, but like I moved some stuff to GitHub mainly to try it out and see. And I have to say, still GitHub's interface is a lot better. But I feel like you can do anything you can do on there on GitHub as well. But.
Yeah, it's interesting. We have some tutorials on Git recently that were local to the next places. Anyway, now it's all about we have some tutorials that we look using Git, and it's amazing how many people don't know the difference between Git and GitHub.
Okay, that's scary.
So some things are things that GitHub added that are used to Git.
Yeah.
Not Git features.
Yeah.
And people don't know that this is the same thing. I mean, you know, a casual kind of view of it, you may assume that, you know, that it's the same thing, actually it's not at all.
So I found them buying GitHub interesting mostly because, I mean, for people who don't know, back when we were thinking about a name for Linux Outlaw, I think I kind of came up with the name, right? I don't say anything wrong. But like the feeling I had back at the time, this was when Microsoft was going on, you know, Linux is a cancer, and it's I think they said it's un-American. That's not bad in my mind, but you know, if you're American, that's quite an insult. Yeah, so I felt like we were kind of like the underdogs, the outsides, because Microsoft was kind of painting Linux as kind of like this outlaw kind of thing, you know, like they were putting it in the same corner as piracy and stuff like that. And I think if we were to do the show, if we were still doing the show, we couldn't call ourselves that anymore based on that, you know, on that idea that we're like the underdogs, because we're not anymore. I mean, Microsoft is doing. And they had Stallman. When Stallman was still head of the FSF, you know, he was giving a talk at Microsoft in London.
Yeah, I mean that was something I thought I saw.
Yeah.
It was quite nice to go into Microsoft before. So you know, regardless of what you name what that time since, it's a IT name doing, you know, anything how to use the longest. I mean, that's very much that one of the book. It was quite interesting to go over there. What do you thought about
Software freedom, I think. Yeah, I think. I don't know if he did the same Ignatius thing. So quickly about Stallman, right? While we're at this, I found this a bit weird. So okay, I don't want to say that I don't understand why he was kicked out of the FSF. Obviously, it's quite understandable the stuff he said. But I feel like, you know, we read Stallman's like emails, you know, the public email stuff for years. And he's, you know, I can remember on LO, this came up. I mean, he was saying this stuff for forever. It's just so weird to me that they now suddenly kicked him off for that.
Well, he had a problematic, and I think maybe it was, you know, it's a cliche, but it's like it's kind of just shows that it's kind of max. You've been doing it so long, but I think if you read the document, it's sort of really conservative. They want to support things that we really in the way of it. And reading their statements really well thought it, so we don't believe that this organisation can be represented
I was actually quite upset at that statement.
Really?
Yeah, because let's not name names, but everybody know who I'm talking about. Yeah, the people that run Conservancy were very close with Stallman in the past.
Yeah.
And like they must have, you know, they know that he's like this. I mean,
Yeah.
it felt a bit hypocritical to me to go, well, now we can't, you know, he can't represent us anymore. I don't think he has. He has, you know, he said some horrible stuff.
Well, yeah. It's difficult, you know, but I mean, I think it's sad that it's all, it's sad that Sam is sad that he apparently has that view as well. But I don't know, it's a case of where they go from here.
I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. This could be very controversial, but I feel like
you can have all
I don't feel like they're that relevant anymore. Like we can put a case for the FSF because they're.
Sorry, I was just going to say, I'm sure the FSF being representative around,
Well, I'm always scared. No, but, you know, I mean, the FSF has an important role in like stewarding the GPL, right? But there was this argument about GNU, you know, that Storm is still head of the GNU project, and I'm like, what's the GNU project do? Like,
what's the GNU
yeah,
project?
Why are they relevant?
I don't use it.
Okay.
You've got things like GCC.
Okay, GCC is probably relevant. Yeah. Okay. Okay, you made an argument there. I take glibc and GCC. Emacs is not an argument.
I usually can't use it on but I mean, I think you took out whatever you think about naming of the next what's next or all that kind of
Yeah, true. But like they're also like open source, right? If it means perfect control, people would still maintain that. Yeah. I just feel like compared to the Linux part, where like if you took Linus out of the Linux development. Yes. Oh, yes. That was another thing. Now that you bring it, I like that. That was something I thought I'd never see. Like he actually apologized for being offensive to people, which I thought, he was always one of my heroes because he never did that, and I liked him for that. So I was kind of disappointed when he did that. Yeah, and then
I thought it was like it showed growth.
You did see that since you started offending people.
Yeah.
I'm also biased because I'm writing about Linux. That was always the best story. How many stories I had on Heise, basically Linus calls these people stupid peeps. I'm trying to be COC compliant here, I hope you know. That was always great headlines. Like those stories get lots.
It's actually basically like kind of thing. The attention that you want for someone being so that, but there are people who aren't involved in any of this, people who aren't. That's their interaction with, what's this? Oh, look at this, it's positive.
Just this guy swearing at. You could have not. No, it's probably not entirely positive. I always liked it because it shows like a different, even when you're coming from the outside. You see, there's normal people doing it. It's not a company run thing. Like there's actually you have actually people on mailing lists saying quite. I mean, it doesn't have to be offensive things. The other part is they're actually saying what they're thinking, and you don't get that. Like when do you see Red Hat like communicating to the outside? Somebody actually saying what they. Well, there are 2 or 3 people that will, but it's not.
But the interesting thing when it comes to Linux is that, and that situation is that you say that he is very much an individual and it's not run by companies or the rest of it, but I can tell you, I can't tell you that right there in no certain way, for example, but he very much has to go the line to all those combinations.
Yeah, true.
And they're a massive corporate. They do some good things, I'm not being but they are very corporate.
I'm pretty sure.
I'm sure they pay his wages. Yeah. They not leaving their job somewhere else, or they would make money somewhere else. But he has a boss who tells him what to do now. I'm not sure he always follows it, but he very much gets told the corporate line. When he comes down to something really offensive, he will hear about it from people.
I think he took that break because he got a call from Jim Zeppelin. Yeah, no, nothing you. Yeah, you're probably right. So I just thought, so maybe this is me and I mean, we obviously had reasons to stop doing LO, and we explained that back in the day, and I'm still using Linux every day, but it's not like my focus, and I've shifted like in my writing and my thinking about things. I've also because I started writing about security, I shifted my focus a lot. And I personally think, so I'm going to put forward this theory and see what you think. When we started Linux Outlaws, I felt very much that the battleground in computing was software freedom. I mean, it's very important to me. That's why we started the show. I thought that is the hill I choose to die on. That's the important thing. And I don't feel like that anymore. In the last few years, I feel like the current battleground we have is privacy.
Actually, I would agree with that real at the moment.
And I feel like for a long time there was this argument, if we just have free software, open source, whatever you want to call it, we have enough of that, we can prevent a lot of other things, And we have seen in the last 10 years, with Google, with Facebook, with all of this, Alexa, Amazon, we've seen, they all use open source, a lot of it doesn't help us one bit. Yeah, well, even they do contribute back, but that doesn't help. Like if all they're like, we're going to track you everywhere. Stuff is all open source. Well, yeah.
slide showed today.
Yeah. It's not a bad. We're too late. If we'd done this when they started with the privacy, oh no. Yeah. I don't know. We'll work on that. No, but I seriously think if I was going to do a show with you today, if we're going to do a new show, I would do it more on that. And I've personally switched my interest in podcasting a lot to politics, not only because that always interested me, but I feel that's, where that intersects, that to me is the interesting thing right now. I actually started finding, the whole source living thing a bit boring. I was like, yeah, okay, we have all this and we've made all these advances. Oh, it's holding up a sign that says that.
You're familiar with the year, if you listen to the show over the years, you know the constant battle that I have. Trying to tell about how much time we have and how much we have. So, I've come up with some helpful visual aids. I'm just going to
I thought you were throwing it at me. Paper cut.
so,
Paper cut.
we want to speak, we want to get everybody
Yeah.
involved, so we've got 5 minutes to be just to be all these questions. No question.
You got you got all corporate on me. Yeah, so I think we can also ask you guys about this. What do you think? But for me, that is still a really scary thing. But because if you think, if Amazon, I mean, they haven't done this, but like let's say Alexa would be 100%, might even be GPL, right? And GPL. We all have the code. It's all great. It's like all this smart home stuff, but they keep all the data. Like that is our problem right now. I mean, our problem for a long time was that we were both such a big proponents of AGPL, because if you only have GPL and then all the web services are proprietary, and that solved the problem. But I think we need something. We need like the data GPL now. Like we need the AD GPL or something. Yeah. I think it's really hard to do because like obviously you don't want that data to be public, right?
Right.
So I wouldn't want to be all the Alexa data public. That would be better. But like I don't know how you would solve that problem. But I think that is the next.
Also, there's a very problem here, but in point out, which is very, very, very good point. The data wants to be private. So in the companies that use data, to collect data, we don't know what they've got, how they've got it. So when they say, oh, don't worry, we can keep it, but we have to all believe that they're doing what they say they're doing, because like we don't know what they've got and what they haven't got, so it's supposed to be private. It's an inherent problem, and so
I've solved it right now. I had an excellent idea. We put it all in the blockchain. I think that's how you solve that problem these days. Then, obviously, it's creating all this CO2, and then we have a whole different problem. And we need to solve that.
it doesn't every problem needs to be solved.
Yeah. But isn't that how it always went? Isn't that like all?
Possibly.
I feel, maybe I'm just getting old. Maybe I'm just getting too old for this crap.
You're like, oh, wow, I don't want to do anything, but now I can't bother with this, that, and the other. And I just want to do this and that. And I think a lot of that, is getting older, is the things that you don't need, and we'll never get tired. 15 hours trying to make this work. You know what I mean? And that's brilliant that people do that, but, I know that what you know, anyway, so, but these days, I used to change, every single week on like one machine. So I was like, if I don't think it's properly, if I don't use the system where I need to use that, and then use it, I'm not really active. I'm not really reviewing it. So that I was happy to do that, but now.
That was quite mad.
I don't know, the rest of the videos now, I don't want to be really sorted. I don't want to do something. So no, I think for me, partly, I think get older and I've got things to do or something.
So speaking of other things to do, to wrap this up.
Well, we've got 15 20
well,
minutes.
before we go into the audience question, I just wanted to ask you. So, what are your plans? What are you going to do next?
Well, just this afternoon.
No, generally, like
What am I going to do next?
open source, podcasting. Like,
So,
what are your plans?
yeah, I mean, we've got about what's happened in the 5 years that soon we start doing the show. So we started in 2014, and about this time, in 2015, my life changed quite dramatically. When, and if you want to do it, if you want to look at service or on a blog or, maybe on life, I ended up going to hospital and doing treatment and all that kind of stuff, which changed your life quite a lot. And spent like 2 to 3 years doing anything with it, a lot of stuff. So now at this point where I'm getting to the point where I'm like emerging into the world, well, I'm already out there, but emerging back into the world, what am I going to do? What do I want to do? And I think what I want to do is, I'm still doing podcasts, and I'm going to continue. In fact, Caroline did, we used to have a team of actors, I'm just going to get a plug in there.
This is what I was setting up.
Check it out. It's at unattested.club or Google.
I love that URL, by the way. It sounds slightly seedy.
Yeah, that's probably the point. Top code on the guy anyway.
You know how I've ever said I'm not really reading comics.
Right.
I've changed my ways recently, and I've discovered I'm reading all the back issues of Judge Dredd, which is actually quite good. So,
yeah, so I'm still doing geek stuff and still like, but actually what I'm looking at ideally is starting music. Yeah, would be nice. I don't know what I'll say. At the end, you'll probably not. But
you weren't there last night. Come on.
Efforts and energy and health and so on. I think.
Cool.
What's your what are you doing?
Well, I'm gonna. Yeah. So I'm doing podcasts. I'm currently in the middle of changing all my podcasts around, but I still want to podcast. I love doing it. I'm currently trying to do more on my own, not because I kind of don't like other people, which is a reason. But it's more like I want to try if I can get that one. And then you can decide. Like for people who don't know, I used to when we were still doing LO, I was working for Heise, and I quit that job at the beginning of this year to go freelance, and now I'm still writing for them. But I now basically plan my own time, and I can work for other people as well. But like I don't plan so much. Like if I have downtime, I can just record a podcast, which is quite nice. Yeah, cool. A lot of Magic the Gathering podcasts.
We've got about 15 minutes, 18 minutes to
right. Raise for the hate from the Red Hat people. We've got Will.
We've got Will, thank you, Will. Who's going to run around with the mic. Anybody got any questions? We've got one right there, that's nice.
That's good.
Are your connections still good enough that perhaps next year you'd be able to do another episode on The Expanse? That was a good one in your.
Oh yeah, sure. I should do that. Actually. Yeah, I definitely. I did a on Geek.
I did a lot of Expanse.
Yeah. We did 2 episodes of Geek News Radio where we interviewed the guy. So there's a linguist in the US who, if you're not aware of The Expanse, you should be. It's great books, good TV. So now on Amazon now, used to be on Netflix. It's great, and there's this guy who they have this language they invented for the books, which was quite rudimentary, and they got an actual linguist who invented the language, kind of like Klingon in Star Trek. Although when we interviewed him, he said so. Klingon was basically it was a linguist going, how can we take all the different hard parts from all these languages and make a language that is impossible to pronounce. And that's how they came up with Klingon. And he actually tried to make a language that is sensible. And I tried to learn it. It's called Delta. Delta, yeah, because the guys... you would actually like, so The Expanse is basically, just very quickly, there are 3 factions in it. One is Earth, which is ruled by the United Nations. Then Earth had a colony on Mars. They became independent, so then the Martians. And then there's the belters, where the guys who are in the asteroid belt mining everything for the inner planets. And you can map these three factions to the software world quite neatly. So Earth is Windows. Everybody's running that. If nobody has a job, they're all running on basic income. It's also quite no, but that fits as well. Yeah. It's a bit shitty, but everybody uses it. Then you have Mars. They have all these new ships, new technologies. They're very sparkly, it just works. So they're obviously Apple, and so the Belters are us. They're like the open source people. They just live on rocks and build spaceships out of old junk that are quite cool. And yeah, they're like space makers, and they have the best haircuts. So if you haven't watched The Expanse, do that now. That is, you're mad. Yeah, okay. We're going to talk about this later. Anyway, more questions. Oh, it's Adam Sweet, and he looks not hungover.
I'm actually okay today. Yesterday morning was pretty grim, so I took it easy last night. First of all, Dan, I did this to you on Friday. It's great to see you back. We missed you for a couple of years. Good to see you well. Really, the purpose of my question is to try and set you for the next episode of Linux Outdoors in about 5 years' time. And so you've talked about what's happened in the last 5 years. What can you see coming in the next 5?
Okay, personally, I think to go in I think we're gonna have a lot more discussions in society around Facebook and what I like to call propaganda and what other people like to call fake news, which I think is a bad name. But that, like the whole thing about manipulating voting, all of this, manipulating society. I think we are not we've built the internet, which is great, right? It's a tool where everybody can get access to all of the world's knowledge at their fingertips, which, when we were born, that wasn't around, and we grew up with that, and it's quite amazing. And we all thought, well, this is gonna, when I was young, this is gonna revolutionize humanity. It's all gonna be great. Turns out, if you give everybody access to information, you also give everybody access to publish information, which turns out that, there's also a lot of wrong stuff on the internet.
You mentioned access to information for the older members of the audience. I remember when my grandpa first heard about teletext. Seriously, I mean...
So when was this?
When was this? I was a kid, he got a TV with teletext.
In the 80s, yeah.
He got a TV and had teletext. And he couldn't go with it. And I was like, that was access to information. It was really interesting. So, I mean, the good ways of it.
Yeah, but
people get like holiday page, the flights page, whatever, they're going to
But I mean, what I mean is the thing you see right now with the press, and there's lots of discussions about fake news and the press and stuff. I think our society is still used to, people basically having a printing press. So you having newspapers and television stations, and quite a few of them. And it would be special if you have a printing press or if you control the content you're publishing, right? And there would go lots of work would go into checking that and everything. And now basically anybody like us can make a podcast, and then it's really popular, and then people take their information from that.
Scary,
and then it's very scary. So I think this is going to be the next thing. That and all the hell that's going to happen when everybody has a smart home.
I love the conversation, that's to say, what anything we used to, just my work, but we used to like OggCamp, doing, photos and all that kind of stuff.
Well, I always thought very, very entertaining. I was watching it for entertainment value.
You just said it, that people listen to something like that and go, oh, that's true. And sure they do that traditional media and you say they always do. But in terms of in 5 years, technology-wise, speaking of this has already happened in a long way, but I think this is not a revelation for anyone. I think phones will probably remain computer category in a lot of ways. stuff your phone into, say on that workstation, and this is your usage for
Oh yeah, convergence.
rather than like, yeah, so I mean, it already happens to me, I got a laptop, but I don't need to use the laptop for it, because I get a laptop, I don't use it on the phone, and I could even potentially talk about the projector and do a presentation with it. I think in 5 years, that was even more.
It was a revelation for me. So 2 years ago, I think, we went on holiday to Fiji, and Fiji is like there's like these little islands, and they don't even have like running water mostly, and they don't have computers. Like we went to look at the school. Well, just wait for the punchline. So they had a school, and they actually had computers in there, which were like Macs that were like 15 years old. And then we met like young people, and they were like, "Hey, can we have your picture for Facebook?" I'm like, "What?" They don't have. So they all have mobile phones. They don't have computers. Obviously, they don't have landlines because they're all on islands. So, but they all have their mobile towers. They've got better mobile connection than most of Germany, which is not hard. But
on your earlier point, I absolutely agree with you. You should refer to it as propaganda rather than propaganda. Very, very well said. You know, you were saying earlier that earlier on you felt that the background was open source, and then later on you felt it was privacy. Isn't it a little of both, really?
well, yeah, it's definitely like okay. If we go back to everything being proprietary, obviously that's also a big problem. Yeah, so I agree with you on that. What I meant to say is that what I realized is that so when you were doing the show and I was younger, I think I basically thought that if we make everything
even I have to agree. It's making everything possible open doesn't solve all problems, but I think we do have to be very wary, and the things that do protect our privacy, things like common crypto standards, do all need to be open, and we should be very wary.
Yeah, that's definitely yeah. You have a good point there. Like if crypto isn't open, it's not crypto. She's gonna ask me about Twitch strategy.
Put you way more on the spot than that. So we were all at FOSDEM together, where we all got together and we all went out and we all had a chat and we all had to talk about data privacy, didn't we? We had waffles, and you just said then that the war was on open source, and Fab just said, and I agree, the war is on data privacy. And you watched me, as an educational technologist, have a conversation with some of the leading FOSS developers where I went, do you know about our children's data privacy, what kind of things they're using, how their data privacy is being addressed, and how young people are becoming more indoctrinated into technology uses? And most of them were like, we are really on open source, we're really on data privacy rights, and a lot of them went, this is happening in our schools, and I went, yeah. And although I think there's this idea that we're from a generation that was, when we were on the cusp of where we've seen it before and we've seen it afterwards, there's a lot of young people now that aren't. And I'm wondering what you guys think then about, I think the world's more uncomfortable with data privacy because we, and I know all flavors of data, probably have some proprietary data on our phones or some proprietary software that we use, like you use Google Maps and stuff, and we all go, yeah, it's okay. But I think when you say, are you okay with children's information, suddenly everybody becomes very uncomfortable. And I wonder what you guys think about how that's going to go.
It's an interesting one. It's difficult. I mean, it makes me what we're saying about, people not knowing whether it's got very source or not. Loads of people, I use Google Docs and things like that, but I'm very much not. anybody wants it. And I think most parents and teachers and other people don't know that. So I don't know what will happen. I think if that was more public, if more people knew about it, I think people would be upset. The question is that message going out?
I think the big problem is there. I think that we're in a good position with open source, that people don't need to know that stuff is open source, because open source has established itself with developers, so the people who are writing the software, as in many ways the only way they can do software. Like if we look at how people, like if the public, anybody public does software these days, they're going to do it open source. Right? Only very big companies can do like really big software projects, proprietary projects, software projects. I mean that are going to be used by the public, right? So I think there, as long as developers know what's going on, and if developers start open sourcing things, the general public doesn't even have to know it's open source. I think with privacy, we have the problem that we have a generation growing up. I feel like this. I might be the wrong person to ask about this because I don't have kids, right? But I do sometimes talk to younger people, and I feel like I talk to the kids sometimes. Yeah. Also, like I get a lot of feedback for stuff I write. And there is a lot of feedback from people who have talked to who turn out to be younger, who don't even care and know anything. So I feel like that should be a thing. I don't know if they do this, but I feel like this is a thing we need to teach in schools. We need to teach people about what these companies do with people's data. And I feel like this must come out of people actually understanding this kind of stuff. As good as the GDPR has done good for privacy and for people, but also like just these blanket laws, they also do stuff that people like don't like. It causes all these like cookies, like these cookie laws, these cookie warnings, right? And you talk to somebody who's like 20 or 15, and they're like, what's all this? Why do I have to click all these warnings away? Of course, there are cookies.
It's kind of. I was saying before, I'm using this for a massive book to probably know about, but I think like groups like you might in this country, so UK based, there are others as well. We need to now support them in spreading actually fighting for laws that do that job. Before we run out too much time, we have another
Yeah, so I kind of think that privacy and open source are probably orthogonal to each other. On the open source perspective, we've moved a long way, and as a movement, it's kind of moved. But I don't think the war is over. There's still a couple of big backers to my mind coming up, and I think the growth of open core licensing at the moment has to be a real concern for open source software, because that is manipulating our terminology to completely undermine our kind of ideals. And I think the other kind of dystopia that's going to come up is cloud computing and massive growth of that. That do we want a world where all our compute power is controlled by 4 companies?
Yeah, well, you're right. I mean, I don't know what to do about that. I'm going to so you mentioned the book. I think something that's happened with things. So much has happened in the last 5 years. Now I can't cover it all, unfortunately. But one of the big things that happened more recently is this people are, oh, we need to find out services and all sorts of and they're taking out other things. We need to move to a license where it's proprietary for a certain amount of time and it's also like there's all these things going on now where it needs to be licensing and we need to do licensing because there are people in it who need to do Amazon on the other side. What's the spot Amazon taking that further?
The AGPL.
Yeah, a lot of these things are licensing, but I think it's a big problem. I don't know how that's going to
one of the big songs when we were doing the show, why I always was a fan of the GPL, because I in my heart believe that people are evil, And companies are a collection of people, and they're especially evil because they can like spread the blame to somebody else. And I feel like that permissive licenses, they're good arguments to have permissive licenses, but they cause this kind of thing. You know, with permissive licenses, you can do this kind of thing. You need like the carrot and the stick. You need the stick. Like this is why, you know, always when we go on with software freedom law center and stuff, in Bradley, I was always for that fight, because you need to make these companies afraid of breaking these licenses. Otherwise, we will never solve it anyway. And I think to go back to your point, one bigger problem is that that's kind of what I was getting to. Like, even if all that code was open source, it's still a problem if it's all running on Amazon machines. And they see everything that goes, like, even if we have good crypto, right? Like, you can't, you don't want it to be all on their machines, because if they do something, like, they can just cut you off. Like, if they deplatform you and think, oh, we don't like your business model, it's our computing power, you're off, you're ruined. And then the other aspect is, of course, they're going to see, like, even if you encrypt everything, there's tons of metadata that you can't get rid of. You'll see people connecting to things, and you will be able to, you know, and we know that they work with intelligence services in the US, and that they analyze this kind of stuff, and they analyze all of our behaviors in that.
Yeah, and because everything, so you mentioned about where they're working in different places like the US, from now is that, you know, companies like Google and all of them, and with things like, you know, data privacy and so on, I can put my data into that file, and they'll say, please make sure it doesn't get on any servers and so on. But without any security, then when they are, they're not able to find its way on some of the parts in America or some of the countries that I don't really want to be in. We can't trust them on that, because we're trusting that they're going to do what we want.
Yeah, also I don't, like, I don't care. Yeah, and also if they're saying that the service in Europe, you know the tricks they pull, right? So if the German intelligence agency can't spy on the Germans, they go to the French ones and they say, okay, we spy on your citizens, you spy on ours, we'll just exchange all the data, you know? And it doesn't help you because it's in Europe. Okay.
Thank you for the question. I think we may have actually one very question there, and then we'll have to wrap up.
Yeah, you briefly mentioned that once your data, your own personal private data is in the cloud, that's it, it's in the cloud, it's worldwide. So what can we do about how a company called DeepMind was able to acquire the medical records for about a quarter of the UK population? And they were given the data, ostensibly for detecting problems with people's eyes and problems with people's kidneys, but you know, that's just sort of a lame duck. You know, we'll just grab all of your medical data on the chance that we might see something. And then since then, despite that company giving assurances that the data was going to be kept private, it was going to be kept in the UK, was only be used for those specific tasks, Google has now bought that company.
What can we do about it? I think, obviously in that case, it's too late now. I think it's about licensing, like that, or data licensing, whether we can allocate it, how you now choose. The thing is, the other thing actually, we don't remember, somebody found, somebody found in like a car park, say, a check or a service station or something, 2 CD-ROMs that contain like thousands of NHS, so national insurance numbers and information. Somebody who worked for the DWP or something that can take them from one place to another and got that there back. Unfortunately, the situation we're in now is that information is online, but they're not leaving in car parks anymore because we're leaving it somewhere where it can be in graphic data. What we do about it, and we have to answer to that, I think maybe more more strict licensing of the actual data. So if we own data, you own the medical data, the NHS, we need to work that out legally.
I think we also need to be aware of what data we give people. Like we need to teach people how to do this. Like in schools, we need to realize. In German, we have a beautiful word called Datensparsamkeit. It means to be stingy with your data. Yes, the Kai's computer uses this quite a lot. So basically, the idea is just think about where you're giving your data. Datensparsamkeit. Awesome. Okay, that's done. That's the next podcast. That's good. Yeah. Datensparsamkeit Outlaws. I'm going to teach you this. Yes. I don't know if this exists, but yeah. Yeah, it's a good idea. I'll work on that. No, I was just going to say everybody needs to think about where the data is. We need to think about how there's no reason they save all this data. It can be deleted at some point. Why is it always in one place before we have to sign it? So yeah, that's it. Thank you all for coming.
Yeah.
I guess we will see you in, I don't know, is it like next year for Datensparsamkeit Outlaws? Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully, maybe we'll do some again in 5 years.
2024. Yeah.
And you can do it again in another 5 years.
And I'm going to feel even older.
Yeah. So I want to thank you all for coming and listening and asking questions and generally being awesome. So thank you very much for being here.
Stay free. Stay free, stay open source, and stay datensparsam.
That's the master one that stops it.
That was kind of confusing, but it was not as confusing as I thought it
I know. So I said, listen to me.
He said that quantum computers have to be at a temperature that's colder than most places in the universe.
0.015.
And that every time you add a qubit, it doubles
It's processing power.
its processing power.
It's pretty clever stuff.
Well, it doubles its power in general.
I didn't know this, but that stuff.
It's IBM.
What's
IBM is
IBM?
one of the big. He runs IBM. He's very, very nice.
Never knew that.
He's my friend, and he's very nice.
I know. Yeah. I never knew that, but he's good. Besides IBM,
Charles Hamlet's
he's really nice, aren't he?
Oh, so he wants it in small bags.
UK CTO.
That's it.
Chief Technology Officer.
That's if he's officer. If you think
I'm
about
the
it,
CTO of some metal companies, but IBM is a huge multinational.
if you think about it, I just talked to someone like really important guy like in general. Sometimes you never ever
You
see
would never meet him. That's right.
someone.
He goes all over the place on all sorts of talks. You'll see him on television. And he's a really nice guy. Yep. What's next?
Hello?
Okay, 11. Go back 11. Yep. Hello. Hello, everybody. Could you take your seats, please, for the next talk? Anybody who's hanging around here, sorry. You're welcome to, let me just stop that music from whatnot. There we go. All right then, welcome back to the main stage. I'm walking in front of the other side. So next we're going to have a talk about missing maps and all that sort of thing from Stuart Ward. So give it up for Stuart.
Afternoon all, how are you all doing? Great. This talk was sort of printed as about OpenStreetMap. It's not really about OpenStreetMap, it's more about the Missing Maps project, which is an organisation that's been created by MSF, Médecins Sans Frontières, and the British and American Red Cross. This really started about 10-12 years ago. There was a hurricane in one of the Caribbean islands, Haiti I think, and the island was devastated, and the emergency services, the aid agencies went in, and there were no maps. Nobody had maps. There was no map of the island at all, and they sort of tweeted about this. Oh, we've got a bit of a problem. We haven't got any maps. OpenStreetMap community got together, and in a matter of 2 days, they mapped the whole island from satellite imagery. That sort of caused the various aid agencies a moment, and they created an organisation from that called HOT-OSN, Humanitarian OpenStreetMap Task Force. The task force was sort of tasked with mapping areas of the world where crises happened. So when there was a crisis, they set up a task, they said, right, here's something that needs mapping, and people would pile in and map it. And that was great for a few. That was really effective. That really did things. I'll show some examples of that. The MSF and Red Cross were sort of really finding this as really useful. But they said, what we really need is to have the maps there before there's a problem. Let's get the whole world mapped. So this is the mission of Missing Maps. Sort of by about 2022, they want to get. Oops, I've gone. They want to get the whole. I grabbed it too low down. They want to get the whole world mapped. So mostly this is about remote mappers, i.e. people in the West with computers using satellite imagery to trace buildings, rivers, streets, build up a base map that is then useful for in those countries. Why? So medical supplies and logistics. if you need to ship Ebola vaccine to northern Congo, you want an idea of how many doses you need. So you need some idea of how many people live there. And there aren't census of these countries. You know, this is a barely functioning society. So what we can do when we've got know where all the villages are and know how many buildings there, we can do a fairly good estimate of how many people live in that village, and we can roll that up to the whole country. So we can then start to to ship the right amount of medicine, the right amount of things into various parts of the world. Waterborne disease and cholera. A lot of that is about sanitation. There's some really good projects to make sure that everyone has access to a toilet. You'd be surprised. There's over a third of the world have no access to a toilet. This is really important. This is an example, this is from a couple of years ago, of the sort of map, I don't know how clearly you can see that, this is an area of, I think this is Northern Congo, yeah, DRC. This is a sort of an area, and basically this is probably the best map there is of that area. This is drawn by hand, by people local people have added to, so, you know, there's lots of villages missing, there's no real scale to it, you know, there'll be distortions in it of you know, where things actually are. We'll go on to a little bit. So if you want to, this link will be in the notes here, so you can have a look at it. But that's a really good story about how accurate maps have helped in this particular case of fighting measles in Chad, and how the value of just being able to know where people are to get them medicines. So this is the sort of impact we can see. This again is Northern Congo, the town of Bakra. That on the left you can see is the Google map. On the right is the result of 70 people for one evening. They mapped that area. This was a few years ago, this was 2015 this was done, and Google Maps have now got the hospital marked. Meantime, the local people have started to get in on the OpenStreetMap and label things. So you can see there's hotels, there's churches, there's things getting named and labelled, and the map is being built up. Okay, so what about in the west? Well, here's the OpenStreetMap of the Pendulum Hotel and the surroundings. And I took this a couple of days ago, and this is the equivalent map from Google. There's some similarity. There's, you know, Google's got quite a good map there, but you know, there's no paths mapped. There's no there's very paths through there. You can see walking paths. There's phone boxes marked. There's gates marked. There's a lot more depth of data here. than is in the Google map. But the really important part of OpenStreetMap and all these projects is open data. The map is just the sort of the top layer, the render of what's going on. Underneath that is the data of what is there, the actual object database. Yes, you can look at Google Maps and other maps, but you can't get access to the underlying data. You can't query Google Maps for things. And here's an example. Someone has created a map of bike parking in Amsterdam. So you can see, you know, if you were a council planner and you wanted to, you know, see where you needed more bike parking, this would be a good starting point to work out where you want to put bike parking in place. But this, you know, this is just one example. There's lots of them. This one I think is quite beautiful. This is a map of all the lighthouses around Europe. Why there are lighthouses right in the middle there? That must be on some lakes and things like that. But yeah. To illustrate this, I'm just going to talk a little bit about a project called What Three Words. Now, What Three Words has been around for a while, and basically what it is a way of encoding a location anywhere in the world into 3 words. So you can say where you are by saying those 3 words. Joyful Day of Harmonica is that location there. Makes it easy to communicate that location. There is one of the African countries that have sort of adopted this as their postcode, so you can officially send them a letter to a What Three Words address. The problem here is the What Three Words algorithm, the way it's worked out, and most importantly the database of words that they're using is signed up in proprietary things, is protected by patents, is protected by copyright. And the company behind What Three Words is being very aggressive in protecting that intellectual property. What Three Words has come out and has tasseled with them trying to open up their algorithm and make it freely available, and has been hit with lots of DNC takedown notices and things like that. The What Three Words people have been very aggressive. So essentially my message is, don't use What Three Words. There are other perfectly good encoding systems out there. I'd certainly suggest you look at plus codes. Plus codes are integrated with Google Maps, much easier to use. But you know, the What Three Words chaps are continuing to battle the What Three Words to try and open it up. Now, this is an interesting map. What this shows is where there are a village or a town name, and surrounding it there are no residential roads. So it's a sort of way of gauging how well mapped that area is. And I think you can see this sort of swathe of red and orange across the middle of the map. In the north and the south, with the more affluent areas of the world, we are better mapped. In the more populated, especially in bits of Africa, Mexico, South America, places like that, there's a severe lack of mapping. And this is caused by a number of things. Firstly, these are poorer areas of the world. They haven't got as much money and government infrastructure to spend on mapping. A lot of the organisations in the West that have done mapping, they don't see much market for selling their data here, and equally, most of their mapping is done from cars, from vehicles, so it's roads that get mapped, and that's it. And major roads at that. But we're talking about, you know, to sort of illustrate this, perhaps consider that you're in charge of a refugee camp, and there's 1,000 people arriving every week. You're sat in the middle of this, and you're supposed to manage this. How can you work out where those people are? That's a real challenge. Without maps, you're completely screwed. So, this, just a sort of a couple of odd pictures here I'm going to show you, which is, these are the sort, this is Northern Africa. This is a typical village. Mud huts, closely clumped together. Sometimes they're smaller than that, they're round huts, like this is quite common. And you know, there's 2 or 3 people that live, there'll be a family in each one of those huts. There's some bigger buildings, etc., sort of more conventionally things. This is probably a school or a hall or something like that. So, what can we do about this? Missing Maps, as an organisation, holds regular mapathons. So we try to get people together with laptops, and we teach them how to do the mapping, how to do if anyone came along to my Johnson talk, that was sort of a very quick introduction to some aspect of it. I certainly encourage anyone who's interested in this to have a look at Missing Maps events, and you can come along and learn how to map. We have monthly mapathons in London. If you're London-based, there's plenty of mapathons there. There are other mapathons around the world. Have a look on the event page and you can have a look. We map tasks. So these tasks.hotosm.org is where the aid agencies put up their requests to map. So this is actually a pretty good gauge of where there are problems and disasters that are happening around the world. Japan, there's just been some typhoons and flooding in that area. Where's that first one? I'm not sure where that first one is. Except that if you have a look through there, you'll see just where the problems in the world happen. You don't have to come along to a mapathon, but you know that's the best way to learn. Alternatively, you could go to Learn OSM, and there's some really good descriptions on how to use the various editors to do mapping, and then you can go into the hot OSM and do a task, is to map a little square. There's a sort of there's a process by which these areas get mapped. So the first task is you do basic editing, so you're marking out buildings and marking out roads. And then somebody else has a look at that and will validate what you've worked. Oh, you haven't done this building properly, or you haven't separated these out, you've joined them all together, or buildings are either square or round, you've not squared them properly. So we need people, as you've done more mapping, become more experienced and learn how to do the validation. So that's the sort of next stage. I'll also want to just quickly mention map swipe. So map swipe, instead of, map swipe is a quick way in which you can get involved in this, and all you're doing is looking for buildings or looking for roads in aerial maps. When we have mapathons, what we want to do is make sure the mappers are being effective, and we don't want them sort of trawling through acres and acres of uninhabited areas. We want them to focus on where the villages are, where the people are, to do that mapping. So what MapSwipe does is filter out to rural areas where there aren't any people, or uninhabited areas. Right, I'm going to throw it open for any questions. If anyone's got any burning questions, I've got about 2 minutes left, I think.
Yeah, we've got a couple of minutes. Anybody? Oh, okay, we'll take these two here. I'll go to you first because you're here, Jimmy.
So in the disaster situation, is there the ability to download a section offline so that you walk around with your phone and say, oh, I'm at the corner of High Street or whatever, it looks like a highlight road? Absolutely. People don't know this, but the first thing that happens when on a disaster is they send in the evaluators, and what they do is they will assess the area, see what's needed, because you don't want, you want to make, the ADAs want to make sure what they're bringing is what's needed. And what they will do is they will assess buildings for the level of damage. Is this one habitable? Is that one need tarpaulins on the roof? Is that one totally unusable? So absolutely, yes. Because this data is open, there are lots and lots of tools to use it, and there's several mobile mapping applications that you can use to download data, amend the data locally. There is also a project, I forget the name of it, that is a local server, so it will be a repository for the OpenStreetMap database, OpenDroneMap, which is a software for managing drone images. There's 4 components. This is all packaged up in a standalone machine, so they can do it totally disconnected from the internet. Anyone else?
Okay, I think we have the gentleman who's okay, he might be the same question. One very, very quick question, and one more. So can you say thank you very much? Yeah. All right, thank you very much for your time. Thank you.
Yeah, it's on, it's just not that loud, is it? There we go. Alright folks, so we've got a few minutes before the final talk, which is Jamie Tanner, who's going to be talking about the indie web movement. Just a very quick announcement. The merchandise stall and the raffle and so on have now moved to outside of this room from the exhibition space. So if anybody wants to grab anything from there, or if you want a chance to win the Entryware laptop, now's the chance to grab it. It's outside. And we'll be back in a few minutes with Jamie's talk. Alright, thank you.
I want to win an Entryware laptop.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I just lent Dave 40 quid so he could buy a raffle ticket.
How much is a raffle ticket?
I don't know, but he must have bought a lot.
Well, what happens if he wins?
You'll give it to me?
Of course I have to come to you. No, because then what if he just gives you the 40 quid back? Dad, why would you do that? That's so stupid. What? He's just going to pay you the 40 quid back and then keep the laptop. Oh, unbelievable. Yeah. Dad then 20 quid to do whatever, to buy raffle tickets to try and win the extra laptop. So if he wins, all he has to do is give the 40 quid back to Dad. And then he's got the laptop.
I don't like gambling, darlings.
It's not gambling, it's a raffle. You got a raffle? Have you got money? Raffles are fun. Oh, raffles. A laptop.
It's usury.
What's that mean? What laptop? Yes, I thought you weren't supposed to remember it.
I don't have a look, I don't know what, I don't know anything about it, to be quite frank. I've just been doing my job.
It must be good if it's not like that. They're going to start saying you're doing this one. Ew, it smells like that meat stuff. What is it, the sausage?
Like that.
The one that you put in, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do. German.
Yeah.
I think you must be having it down.
Yeah, I can hear it. Wow, it's really strong.
So there's lots of different kinds of it, but it's sort of processed sausage.
There's someone down there that's going to pack a bunch of It's Tesco chicken. It's Tesco chicken. Right now. Because you've just been rude and selfish. No, I'm not being rude. I'm just telling you the hard truth. That you're selfish.
Hello, how are you doing? That's good. Right. Welcome back to the main room. We've got the final talk. How are we getting to the final talk? Welcome on the main stage with online. So this is
is our final scheduled talk before we decide the raffle cast closing thing after. So James Hannah is going to tell us about the indie web movement. So put your hands together for James.
slow moving. So you've got things like around an image, there's a view photo, which shows that it is defined by the URL, it's a photo. So then when it actually renders in someone else's indie reader, they can see that as, oh, that person's photo is this URL. And then they can render it a bit nicer. This makes it quite easy. My previous workflow with publishing content to my website was involving personal device, then Git, Hugo, GitLab workflow, and that was quite painful. If you think about how you interact with things on social media, where you just like a post, I would have had to have checked out the repo, written a blog application, pushed that bar, made sure everything in that is really unscalable. Also, that's very restricted to my own workflow. So this is a standardized API for how do you publish things to a website. It is a really nice way of doing it. We're looking at things like static site CMSs, implementing something like this, it makes it much nicer and much easier as well. There's also microseg. So for those of you who used to use RSS feeds, so I've used this purposefully to get people backed up. It's not an old technology, it is still very much a thing. Lots of people still do see it as, oh, why RSS feeds, they're not cool. One of the things that was difficult around RSS feeds was inflating the server and the client, not having any social interactions. So Microsoft allowed you to have a server which just needs to manage getting the content and exposing it to the client. Then the client does the easy work of just rendering it, which is not an easy job. And then as part of that, it adds on a bit more social aspect to that. So using standards like web action, you can interact between different websites. From the website, by having this feed reading, you can fill on reply to comments and like posts and tell people you're talking about them, and you can share it further. So as a standard, it's sending a post request to say, hey, this website mentions your website, and then there's some posts in the background. So this adds a bit more like social aspect. We spoke about bridging syndication, so this allows you to either backfeed content from a social silo to your own website. So for instance, Instagram doesn't have an API, so you have to post to Instagram first, and then it gets syndicated back to your website. Or you can publish from your website objects. So a lot of people use their, for instance, Twitter syndication from their websites. They tweet on their website and then go out. Spoke a little bit earlier about logging with Facebook and the privacy aspect of that. What about if you could just use your website and then this goes through to your authorization provider? In this case, I use indielogin.com, it's a free service. That then decides how to authenticate them. That handles all that flow. That means you don't need to know up front how someone can authenticate, you just know they follow Indeal and that just works. Need some specs of how you actually discover that. Then finally, sorry, I've got that 10 seconds left. There's this role rule. So notice we've got a role equals me. So this lets the provider know that my GitLab account can be used to authenticate me. So if they already had an integration with GitLab, they could delegate to GitLab to give you evidence-based how you actually use so well. And then that would log into it. And then it's a ton of resources, which I'll also tweet out, including why you should have a website. Thank you.
That was great. Thank you very much for that, Jamie. Fascinating. I'll stop breaking the mic. That was really fascinating. We're going to now we're going to have a very quick kind of 15-minute break, so everyone can go to the toilet, get a drink, whatever you want to do. if you want to head out, grab raffle's closed, but if you want to grab a t-shirt or something, you can do. And then at 4:15, we're going to start the raffle cast. So you're welcome to sit tight. If you're comfy, you're good. That's good. If you want to nip out to the toilet or something, you've got a little bit of time, and then we'll do that at 4:15. Right, thank you.
Let's put another song on and stuff.
Now.
Sorry.
It's a little closer.
Is that it then, or is...
In Andy's talk, he said stuff about you can actually play on a quantum computer on IBM.
Hello. Can I let you? A real one?
With 53 qubits.
Cool.
Oh, you're gonna need some more. You're gonna need some more.
Censoring it again, yeah?
Oh my god. You said to yourself, you actually need to learn to listen to not be selfish. Because you end up getting away and you end up being selfish. You tried to hit me in the stomach. You were grabbing me. You were right. Because you were fighting back. Next time, don't do that. Next time, you shouldn't have started like that. I don't care.
Listen, I recognise you're too tired, but I need you to manage to behave like for another hour.
Yeah, I'm trying to, but he's being selfish.
Embarrassing me.
I'm not embarrassing anyone. I'm not being selfish. Yeah, I will.
Hey, please, excuse me, stop that.
How about you do that then?
Fine.
Stop helping out.
Somebody want to get me a cup of coffee? Fine.
Message from Les. When after winning the raffle, they're going to pass the cruise club down to the stage. Make sure you get down there as well.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
All right.
Just doing the thank you to all crews.
Oh, brilliant. All right.
So we'll have to go on the stage and look like prats.
Yeah, I can look like a prat anyway.
We've all had a lot of practice.
So and how long is the raffle going to take, do you reckon, and we'll just get down?
Well, there's 18 prizes.
Oh, it'll be a little while then.
So, yeah.
We'll whiz down.
Everyone's got these now, haven't they?
Huh?
Everyone's got those now.
They are
haven't they?
fantastic, aren't they?
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. It's a great. I said Dan should really be on commission for all of those because he's getting loads of them vlogged.
Because he bought that other one, didn't he, for about 300 quid?
Yeah, it was really expensive, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I got one off the back of his recommendations. Like
Yeah, I did as well, but he got the one for 300 quid, used it. So it's about for a refund. So is it OBS? Yes, isn't it?
That's it, just like tapping buttons. Bella's been doing a lot of work there, but they're working fantastic. It's really good. Alright, we'll get down a little bit then. Cheers.
So last recording.
Sorry? No, we'll just leave it recording and we'll all go now. What? Up to you? You should, because you're crew, but it's okay. You should, you don't have to. Because you've done a lot of hard work. And you should get thanked for it. I'd like it if you'd come down, it's up to you.
There you go. Hello.
Hello. So the short delay here is that I gather from Simon that there is a frenzy of last minute buying.
Flurry of activity.
Which is just going to dilute the pool for everybody. Either way.
What he's not saying is we've just issued another 1,000 tickets.
I wasn't expecting to be up here at all, but hey.
Yes. No, of course we haven't done that.
This is now my...
I think, are we ready to start? We've got another couple of minutes before we're going to start. I said 4:15.
This is as organised as usual at OggCamp at the ending, isn't it?
It is, yeah. So we'll be starting in a couple of minutes. There's just some people buying more tickets and finding the way in.
Did you buy any tickets, Dan? Did you buy any tickets?
I don't have any tickets. No.
I've got some tickets.
So if I win one of those...
This could be embarrassing if I end up winning one.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to win all of them, so...
Are there any Father Ted fans?
That wouldn't be suspicious.
Yeah, I imagine there are. So everyone remember that episode of Father Ted where he gets up and goes, now I was at a raffle the other day and the guy who was organising it won the raffle, so I just wanted to point out that that's not unusual if that happens. And then I'm not in the raffle, so I won't be doing that.
Yeah, as I say, I genuinely had no idea I was going to be up here until about 5 minutes ago, so if I do win anything, then sorry, I win.
It's okay, I'll draw the ticket, the first one, because if you drew the ticket
That's
and
right.
it was yours, that would look incredibly dodgy.
Well, you're right. No, you see, look, this is all full transparency here, folks. This is you know, an open event. We love that. The raffle is now closed. The final tickets are frantically being folded. I'm literally telling you what the man in my ear is telling me. A bucket has been...
Simon to Dan, I have the bucket.
Acknowledge, Simon. The 10th anniversary OggCamp raffle cast is about to begin.
All right, everybody grab your seats. If anybody's going around waiting to sit down, grab a seat and we'll get started. This works. That works. I'll talk into the mic. That works. Brilliant. All right, and so this is the closing session, as Andy said, the infamous OggCamp raffle cast. With hope that it's not going to go on for 4 hours, I'm going to try and keep it sharp and snappy for you, getting through the prizes and stuff. But we have a few things to mention, which I'll get to. So, first of all, we need to mention a birthday. So have we got Dave and Caroline in? Wave to us, please. A litany of leads. We want to mention that it's Amy's birthday. Yeah, big happy birthday to Amy. She didn't know that was going to happen. That was a surprise. Another thing that you don't know, none of you knew, is that the present we got you was a laptop. The raffles a ruse. There you go. So
that is cool. That is cool.
I'd never get out of here alive. Look at these people. They've come here for a laptop. You've each and every one of them. All right. So yes, many happy returns. All right. So before we get into the raffle, I want to thank again our sponsors who supported the event, made it happen. This one's nice and easy. I kept saying before that you can't see the logo very well in this lighting, but I'm stood next to two banners that say Entroware. So the guys are at the back over there. Big thank you to Entroware who supported the event. They are our platinum sponsor. So go to entroware.co.uk to find fine Linux laptops, desktops and servers. Okay, up next we've got our gold sponsors, IBM, which I'm sure some of you have heard of. We've had many people here from IBM doing talks and stuff. So big thank you to IBM. And a big thank you to Ubuntu. Really, I wonder if there's any competition between the IBM people and the Ubuntu people in the room as to who gets the most tuners. Because there's a lot of enthusiastic platformators style antics going on there. All right. I need to also thank OpenSUSE, and I'm going to put some of you down. And finally, we also want to thank 8circles.co.uk, who are a small dev company. So I don't know if he ever turned up. There's a gentleman called Mike Lamb, who runs that company, who got in touch with us. So a big thank you to Mike at 8circles. We also need to thank Public Software, who host our project. So Simon is a representative of that. With that, let's raffle. Alright.
Oh yeah.
So, what we're going to do is, I'll draw the first, in fact you better shake that or hold it out for me, I'll go and pick one up.
Which prize is this one for though, Dan?
We'll go for, I should have myself a longer one.
Something rattling in the bottom of this pot.
What would we like for the first prize? Let's go for, we're doing the microbit separately, let's do a microbit first.
No.
That's not a microbit.
That's an extension for a microbit.
Alright, so this first one's for the microbit. What we're going to do is I'll draw the first number for this one. Whoever's won it draws the next one. You've been to a raffle probably in the past. I'm going to give it a really good
what was your favourite moment of the weekend then?
It's this right now.
Is it?
It's pretty good. What's your favourite moment? Playing lots of loud music last night.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Just being, hanging out. I'm going to pick out a yellow ticket. It hasn't got a name or a number on the back, so hopefully that means this person's here.
Have a number on the front there.
Oh no!
Otherwise we've got some problems.
They're all blank. Alright, so first one for the microbit. We've got a yellow ticket.
How many times have I had to fix things this weekend? Come on.
It's yellow ticket. It's number 37. 37. We've got yellow 37. Anywhere in the room? Somebody said, yeah, there we go.
I'm taking the bucket over.
Oh, right, okay, it's a two-man job, I didn't realise. Okay.
Simon, our swag model.
There we go. So congratulations.
So please pick us another ticket.
This is for another
wait, yeah, that's a good point. We need to find out what it's called.
For another microbit, we'll just work this
another microbit, okay. So that's a yellow ticket. Oh.
Hang on,
Yellow. Yellow 22.
Someone over there, yellow 22.
Are you two together? Do you mind me asking? You just happen to be seated next to one another. Okay.
Okay, well, I think that's fair enough.
It's good. Simon's now having to do the running. This is better than I thought.
Alright, so we need to draw another one for us.
Oh, that's good. This is going quite smoothly so far. Unusually smoothly, actually, for a raffle cast.
Move over here, I think. There we go.
We have blue 570, 570, blue 570.
Yeah, and this is for a microbit.
Another microbit extension thingy.
A microbit extension kit. Yeah, mini bit, sorry, I can't read.
This side, Simon, this side. Please.
That side, sorry. You can go across that way. Watch the cables. Health and safety be damned. There we go.
I won't let the next one be drawn until we've chosen the next prize.
Oh, that's a good idea.
It'll better, won't it?
That's a good idea.
Yes, there.
So, what are these? Were these vintage notebooks?
Yes.
They're notebooks, but why?
There are lots of notebooks.
They're physical paper notebooks, not like notebook computers.
We have here a legacy Google Summer of Code 2005 notebook with the lenticular cover. Very few of these in circulation. And we have a genuine Twitter pocketbook here.
We're definitely upping the ante with each prize as we go.
We are.
We've gone from microbits to bits.
We're going to end up with like here. We've got a pen. Who wants a pen?
Don't reveal the booby prize at the end.
All right, we got collect that. So that's the prize for this one. Right. Who's going to draw it?
May is drawing it, and we have a pink 83. Pink 83. Is there a pink?
Pink
Holder
83.
of pink ticket 83 in the room. Anybody? I know that these notebooks are very, very exciting.
Is it the same people again?
Did you buy all of the tickets? Because I tried to buy all of the tickets, but they wouldn't let me. Oh, were you only giving one note? Oh wow, you only get one notebook each.
So that's a high value notebook.
It is high value. Wow. Okay, so this is in fact for the other notebook.
Okay.
Stingy.
More notebooks. Can we might. Yeah. Okay. Another two notebooks. What are these two?
These two, we have the Paris Open Source Summit 2016. Another one of those because my local Twitter friends don't give me those things.
Useless, exactly.
So we have two notebooks, OggCamp and Paris.
And are they going together this time?
All right, so
these two are going together.
Just to be really clear, because I don't want to disappoint the winner. Okay, good. So this
is a bit of a problem here, isn't it? 'Cause you say things and then we don't. Yeah. Anyway, all right. So are we drawing? Have we got the ticket?
I've got the ticket. These two notebooks
So the two notebooks
to the holder of this ticket.
We can't give everything away individually, or we'll be here all night.
Okay,
So
good.
definitely that's going.
So the lucky winner of those two books is Blue 388.
Blue 388.
Blue 388.
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
All right.
Right, so let's streamline this. Dan,
Yes.
Simon's running with the prizes.
I was
You
thinking
find
I
the
can
next
pick the next one.
and
Yeah.
then I can take the bucket to the person
Okay.
who's drawing, and we can make this
All right.
so much more efficient.
Yes.
It's like continuous improvement.
We have a genuine Twitter notebook and a soft cover, beautiful Intel notebook.
Being given away together.
Giving away together because the blue and the green can't go.
Okay, that's that. I like that. And
Yeah.
this one is going to Blue 313.
Blue 313. Anyone?
Oh, we have
there we go,
it.
Stuart. Congratulations.
I've just realised that I'm now the other end of the room from my own ticket, so this could go horribly wrong if it's in my favour.
So, next prize is a Jupiter Broadcasting, I think it's a charger, is it?
It is a charger.
Power pack, a battery power pack,
And
Jupiter Broadcasting.
the winner of that is Blue Ticket 287.
Blue Ticket 287 for the
You're going to
Jupiter
have
Broadcasting.
power in your hand.
There you
Blue
go.
Ticket 287, that wasn't me.
Yeah, at the back. Sorry.
There we go, there we go.
Congratulations. Unfortunately for Andy, it's right at the back in the corner. A motherboard, okay. So we've got a motherboard. Anything special about the motherboard? Is it a particular model?
I don't know. This was donated by an attendee. The battery doesn't seem to be working, and I think it needs
There's
a
currently no
SIM.
screen display.
Yeah, the screen doesn't look like it's working, but otherwise it looks fine.
It sounds like a fantastic prize to me.
I'm excited.
All these people are wondering why they bought raffle tickets. So have we got a winner for this wonderful motherboard?
We do. We have a white ticket. And it is white 254.
White 254? Yes, at the front here. Congratulations.
Good luck with your
Bear Conductive Touch Board. So next prize we have is a Bear Conductive Touch Board.
Bear Conductive, I've got one of those. They're actually very, very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Make really nice things with those.
Awesome. So somebody will get this now.
You'll need to buy some conductive paint, but it's pretty neat. Pretty neat. Oh, it might be in the box actually. I can't remember. So this is for Blue 81. Blue 81.
At the back.
And in the meantime, Dan is checking his messages.
I'm just seeing how we're doing for time because I just don't want to be hours keeping everyone waiting for the suspense of the main super prize.
That's right.
All right, and so we have. Let's give these away. So we've got some suspiciously familiar looking mugs, but they also come with a Linux Academy plushie penguin.
Amazing.
So thank you to Linux Academy for that, for donating those. So it's a mug and a penguin.
A mug and
we've got a set. We've got two of those, so we'll have give them away separately.
Two prizes.
Two prizes, but yeah.
This one is pink number 1, and it says Dave W on the back. So I'm assuming that it's
I know they're here.
for Dave.
It's nice one. Well done.
Can you just draw us another one quickly, Dave? Thank you very much.
Okay. What have we got here? Let's see. Second mug, sorry. Second mug.
Second flush. Blue 523, blue 523, blue 523. Blue 523, you are the winner of a mug.
Congratulations. Okay.
How can we get better than these prizes? This is getting really exciting. I mean, we're levelling up each time.
Okay, so this one first? Yeah.
Wait. What's the prize? We're finding out.
Yeah, I'm just finding out. It is a USB 3 display adapter.
That sounds exciting. I want one.
Woo! If you've got a display and it needs adapting, and you've got USB 3, this is for you.
This one is Blue 13.
Vintage.
That says Chris Blood on the back of it.
Yeah, it's at the back there.
There he is.
Congratulations. We're getting there. We're getting there.
We've been very consistent with labelling our raffle tickets.
Yeah. Okay. So I think this is a drive bit. Fortronics. We thank Fortronics for donating these prizes. A couple of drive bits. What do you do with a drive bit, Les? Motor controller board for a microbit for building robots, and we've got two of these. So first one prize,
first one,
and then one for another prize.
First one is a white ticket, and it is white 84, and it says Will on the back of it.
Is that you, Will? It's not you. There's another Will. Sorry, there's more than one Will. Apologies. Okay. And then we've got another one for the second prize.
Sorry, I need to get around to Will.
Yeah, don't worry. In the meantime, while you're walking around, Andy, it gives me a chance to just say, if you entered the Floorcon CTF, Capture the Flag, we're not going to announce the winner now, but they're going to announce it on the Floorcon Twitter account later tonight, so keep an eye out for that.
So
right.
Blue 318 is getting another microbit.
Drive bit.
Drive bit. Sorry.
Blue 318, Adam, sweet, look at that. There you go. To get into the big things now, the exciting things. What is this?
A Christmas critter from the vaults at Pomerone. It is a kit for you to make something that twinkles.
Excellent. Okay then.
It's a white ticket. Oh, I dropped it.
I thought you were going to drop the whole bucket all over.
Yeah, the whole bucket. And it says Dan W's white 17.
Is that the same person, Dan W? Where did we hear that before? No, there we go, someone different. We had a Dave W. Clearly you're not related.
I'm pretty sure that's that. I can't quite read it actually.
Of the famous W's. Alright, and we've got a Fortronics again. We've donated all kinds of prizes for us, which is fantastic. A robot kit, RoboBit Mark III, which is a microbit robot building kit. So How are we doing?
We've got a blue 94 for that one.
Blue
It
94?
says Sebastian on the back.
Yeah, Sebastian, he's over that side. There you go. It's a yeah, robot kit from Fortronics.
Nice that John has got a...
We're getting to the big ones now.
Nice that John has beautifully arranged all of his tickets on his red hat. I like it.
This is a phone.
It's
It has Linux on it. Yeah.
Excellent. All right, and so for the Linux phone, we've got our second to last prize.
Well, get ready to get excited, Kevin, because you would have ticket blue 55.
Blue 55. Oh, Kevin! Well, here you go. He's won a Linux phone. And now,
This doesn't look at all dubious. For, you know, a member of the crew winning that one.
yeah. As I mentioned before, it's unusual for the person who arranged the raffle to
He's just
win the
pointing out
raffle.
that he also folded the ticket. So
Okay.
I checked around and there's actually a Jupiter Broadcast keyring as a bottle opener. I wasn't sure if somebody was trying to donate it to the raffle or whether... Oh, okay, fine.
Oh, okay. There we go then. So we're not going to raffle that then.
Oh, okay,
We're
fine,
all
fair
right,
enough.
All right, and apologies if you...
Are you done with me now, Dan? Can I leave?
You going home? You're just going to go
No,
home?
I just wanted to make sure...
I think so. I think we're done. Yeah, apologies if you're upset. Alfie's pointing at me. You okay? Have we got a printed version? So we've got 2 prizes. We have got 2 more prizes, people. Dramatic. Thank you, Alfie, for that. We need to thank Floorcon, who've donated 2 jet beans. That shows my age. JetBrains licenses, 2 one-year licenses. We'll do them as 2 prizes. Simon's going to grab it. Simon's going to rummage through. You've got a blue ticket. There we go. Hang on, should we give him Neil B, is that Neil Bodwick? 510. 510. It is you. It is Neil. There you go. Put your hand up so Simon can. All right. There you go. I think there's no physical prize to give over, and Alfie's going to sort the PDF out.
Dan, you can be the last one. Okay. Symmetry.
Alfie will sort it out.
Having the first one drawn by Dan and the last one drawn by Dan.
I'm going to look away. I'm going to go right to the bottom.
I just actually screwed up all my tickets, so I have no idea if I'm doing this.
Okay. Here we go. So for 1 JetBrains license for a year, we have a white ticket 127.
It's got a name on the back as well.
It's got some. It's Jackie. There you go. Congratulations, Jackie. So you get a 1-year license for that one. And thanks again to Floorcon, to Alfie and all the others. Okay, find it at the desk at the end. We'll sort that out. All right, and so apologies again if anybody disappointed you didn't win. I'm sorry. Them's the breaks, as they say. So right now, I don't know where. I'm hoping that all the crew are in the audience by now. But we need to thank some people. Some of the people who make this happen. Can we ask the crew to come up to the stage, please? Anybody in it? Anybody in a crew t-shirt? There you go. Just grab yourself. I hope you're in the crew. Okay. Just give me a minute to get down. Right. So I'm trying not to block them. Awesome. So, I'll kneel down. Will you? No. Oh, my knees. That's it. All right then. Yeah, so these people are the people who make this event happen, who you've seen them running around, you've seen them working hard. I also want to thank Bella, who's up there, who's been doing the video stream. Thank you. We won't make you come down from there. Come down! So thank you to Bella, who's been helping out with that. So let's give these people a round of applause, because they make all this happen with their hard work. All right then. I just realised I had a slide for that. The crew! And then that was good actually, with you lot stood in front of it. It's not, almost like I planned it. Yeah, so a big thank you to everyone who volunteers, and also the organisers. So everybody who's organised as well and helped out with all of that side of things and pitched in and all of that. So thank you. All right, and are we going to clear the stage again while I do the last little bits? You're allowed to stay if you want. I'd love it if you could all stay. Oh, right then. That was hard getting up. You can tell it's been a long weekend. I'm now out of breath. I feel that's just terrible, isn't it? They've been running around everywhere. I've knelt down once and I'm already out of breath. Right, okay. Okay. I want to also thank all of you for coming along and attending the event and making it happen as well. So give yourselves a round of applause. So, and I've got a question for you. Which is, who would like to see OggCamp happen again? Would anyone like to see OggCamp happen again? Okay, so this is the interesting bit. So I can announce that we need you people who want it to happen again to get involved and organise it. I'm retiring after this year. I'll come along, but I can't organise again. So we need some of you people who are interested to step up, and if you are interested, contact us, and we'll obviously help you with that. We've got the financial hosting from Public Software, we've got the things in place, so if you want to, take the baton and make this happen again, please do. And then also, Les is stepping down, our wonderful crew manager, so thank you for all the work, Les, and all that. So I think I've put the slides in the wrong order. No, I haven't. There we go. So thank you to everyone for coming in, thank you to our sponsors. I think that's everything.
He's wearing a hat. He's wearing glasses to enjoy.
Wow. Is this code of conduct compliant? Have a safe journey home. There's still merch left outside, well said, Simon. As you leave, obviously there's a stall there. It's discounted. There you go. Do you want to come back? So it's discounted. Yeah. So t-shirts are discounted. So have a look on the way out if you'd like to. Last chance to pick up a t-shirt or anything else and help support the event. And don't forget to get in touch if you want to talk about getting involved in future. And have a safe journey home. Look after yourselves. And who knows? Maybe we'll see you again. Thank you very much. Sorry, there we go. One last thing. I love